Yo, what's going on, boys? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another YouTube video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking and looking at some of the best solar weapons that you want to keep in mind when going into the Edge of Fate. Now, like always, there's going to be some artifact mods that are going to make certain elements better. And one of those elements is going to be solar. We have some solar mods once again. So we're going to be taking a look at those upcoming mods and how they're going to be affecting solar weapons, as well as give you a list of weapons that I think are going to be good next season, and they should definitely keep on you for a lot of build crafting that season. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you do, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already, as well as follow me on Twitch. We'll be streaming a lot, so go follow over there as well. And now let's get into it, and first let's start by taking a look at some of these solar mods that are going to be in the artifact next season. Now the first one that we're going to be starting off with is going to be PVE and Chill, and what this one is not specifically just a solar one, it actually has two effects, a space and a solar one. The solar one is going to be very strong, and you're pretty much going to have this on all the time, because rapid precision hits will give you radiant. And if that sounds kind of familiar, that's because we pretty much had a mod like this like a year or two ago, and it made pretty much any solar weapon just amazing. You basically are just going to be walking around with radiant all the time, and just getting radiant is going to be something you're going to be able to easily do with all your solar weapons. So this is going to be fantastic. And it's gonna be just a mod that you basically want to have on all your solar builds. We're also gonna have Radiant Shrapnel whenever you do some sustained damage on a Radiant weapon, or after defeating a scorched target with weapon damage, it will create solar projectiles that will do increased damage and scorch things on impact. So it's gonna be scorching, it's gonna be doing extra damage, and it either requires killing something that's already scorched, or just doing damage with a Radiant weapon, which is going to be very easy because of the previous mod, just essentially giving us radiant all the time. So it's just going to be adding a little bit extra damage, a little bit more scorch, which is going to lead to just more ignitions, adding more damage on top of everything. Just these two mods by themselves are going to be making a pretty good gameplay loop by themselves. You get radiant very easily, and then you scorch more, do more damage, and it leads to more ignitions. Now the next two are not like used specifically for solar again, but they're going to be working really well with a solar build, and overall just increasing your damage even more, although the last one is a little more torch prismatic. The first one's gonna be Elemental Overdrive. Picking up an Elemental Pickup or a Tangle will increase the weapon damage for the same element. So whenever you pick up a solar sprite, you can increase damage on your weapons, and this is gonna be really good. This is gonna be good for pretty much any build on any class. This is gonna be just a good model all around. And the last one that's a little more torch prismatic is going to be Cauterized Darkness. A stasis or strand debuff non-boss combatants will take increased solar damage from all sources. So as long as you hit something with a darkness debuff beforehand, they're just going to be taking more solar damage. Although they did make this so it doesn't work against bosses, but against champions I think this is going to be really good, and it's just going to make killing and dealing with them just a lot faster. I think that this is really going to be like a mod that you want to put on if you want to go with prismatic. They always have to have a couple of prismatic things in the artifact, and it looks like this one's gonna be the one for this season. We actually, I think, already have something like this on Prismatic itself, like a facet, but I imagine this one's is gonna be much stronger, and it actually is gonna do a lot more damage. And those are gonna be the main mods that are gonna be hurting solar weapons. The solar ones are gonna be starting with the least amount of mods, but as we get through the season, I'm sure more of them are gonna be added, and we're gonna be getting some more things that are good with solar. But now let's talk about some of the best solar weapons that you need to keep in mind when going into the Edge of Fate. Now I'm going to be starting off with the weapons with one of them that should be getting some nice buffs, and that a lot of you guys may actually have gotten it recently, and that is the Hierarchy of Needs, the Solar Bow. So Bungie's been hinting at giving this bow a couple of buffs to make it better, and with it being one of the weapons that you can get right now from Rite 9, I think that they're probably going to make it pretty powerful. And what we really don't know to what extent this bow is going to be getting buffed in Edge of Fate, as long as they give it a way to spawn the ring faster, the guiding ring, or a way to scorch enemies, or maybe both. I think that this weapon is going to be fantastic. And the great thing about it is that you can also get it from the Rite 9 update just by doing the exotic quests. You can actually get both exotics, this and also the Navigator, essentially for free. Because it is a free to play event, so even if you guys don't own those dungeons, you can get in there and come out with the exotic. The next weapon is gonna be the Rocket Sidearm Goat, the Aberrant Action. This thing has been popular since it came out, and it looks like it's gonna continue to be popular in the Edge of Fate. Rocket Sidearms do a lot of damage, they have a lot of ammo, And with this one being a solar weapon, being able to take advantage of the mods, as well as being able to roll with incandescent and heal clip, it makes this thing into the perfect rocket sidearm for next season. It's going to give you lots of survivability, tons of ad clear, and also tons of ignitions. Essentially, if you guys haven't picked up the Aberrant Action, you definitely want to pick it up, and you can get it from the episode 1 activities. If you for some reason have episode 1 but haven't gotten the Aberrant Action, I definitely encourage you to get in there and just get this weapon. This could be like the only weapon you go for, and that'll be amazing. Now from one amazing weapon to the next one, we have the Lord of Wolves. Now I feel like we don't really have to spend much time here on the Lord of Wolves. This thing is insane with the amount of damage it can put out. It can trigger ignitions, and now with the new mods being able to get some free radiant and also faster ignitions is going to make the Lord of Wolves, I think, even better. Now we do not have any of like the sandbox updates yet, so there is a chance that the Lord of Wolves gets nerfed a little more to bring it down more in line with some of the other weapons. But even if that does happen, I still believe that the Lord of Wolves is still going to be a fantastic weapon. It may not be like the top DPS weapon anymore, but I'll be very surprised if it's still not one of the best weapons in the game. I think Lord of Wolves with its new mods is going to make it even better, and I don't think we're going to be putting it away anytime soon. Next, we're going to have the Polaris Lance. This is an amazing scout rifle that I think is going to be fantastic next season. Scout rifles are going to be an anti-barrier weapon next season, but even if they weren't, I think this thing would still be amazing because of the constant radiant again, the faster ignitions, which is basically perfect for this weapon. This weapon already causes ignitions very easily, so just by giving it even faster ignitions, it's going to make it better. And with a solar build that's all about ignitions, I can definitely see this weapon putting out tons and tons of damage with constant ignitions, constant radiant making it hit really hard. You're basically just going to melt champions with the Polaris Lance. Some of you guys may actually remember last time the Polaris got some really good mods and just how ridiculous it was. We're basically going to have that again with even more ignitions this time. So I'm really looking forward to the Polaris Lance. It might not be the fastest killing weapon in this list, but it's definitely going to be very effective and probably one of the safest and easiest options to use on this list to basically get through any endgame content. The updated new survivors from Rite 9 I think is also going to be pretty good, since now we can get heal clip and incandescent, the classic combo, now finally on SMG. Now SMGs will also be an anti-champion weapon with this upcoming season. They're actually going to be stopping overloads, so this is going to help you deal with the overloads while at the same time playing into a lot of those solar mods, making you get better ignitions, constantly healing with the chill clip, and also just overall being a good weapon. SMGs are pretty good in PVE right now, so if you're a big fan of SMGs, you definitely want to have a new Survivors the next season. It's going to be pretty good. Now the next weapons I want to talk about are all kind of similar. It's essentially an exotic and then the legendary counterparts of that exotic, and that is the Sunshot. Now the hand cannons are finally back to being some type of anti-champion weapon. They're going to be unstoppable, and so Sunshot is back to use being a menace. Sunshot I think is going to be really good, and with the constant radiant is going to make it even better. And there's not much I can really say about the Sunshot. It's the ultimate ad clear weapon. It does tons of damage, and with the new ammo system, it should be giving you lots and lots of meter, so you can actually get some special and a bunch of heavy ammo. Now, if you don't have your exotic slot available, then there's definitely going to be two different weapons that I think are also going to be some really good replacements for the Sunshot, but they're just legendaries. The first one is the legendary Sunshot, and that is the Sauli's Vein. You can get this one from the King's Wool raid, and we get this with incandescent plus explosive rounds. It really is just a legendary Sunshot. It is like closest thing that can get to the Sunshot, and it's really nice. Now the other option is not really going to be one-to-one. It's going to be the Luna's Howl, but it's going to be also a very good weapon for PVE. Now the good thing about this one is that you do keep the incandescent for giving you a little bit more ad clear, but instead of going with explosive rounds, you actually have heal clip. So you are going to be trading off some of the extra damage for instead some survivability, but regardless, it is going to be really good, and it's going to make the weapon feel fantastic with any solar build. I tend to prefer the Sauli's Vein a little more, just for the extra damage, and essentially being able to one-shot any of the smaller enemies, but both of them are going to be fantastic. You want to use the Sunshot, but you already have your exotic slot taken up. Now when it comes to heavy weapons, for the exotics, I think the Dragon Spirit's going to be really good. Whenever there's anything in the artifact that involves ignitions or making ignitions happen faster, the Dragon Spirit is amazing. Any solar build, whether it's focusing on ignitions or not, can definitely benefit from the Dragon Spread, but if you do have an ignition focused build, it's basically the exotic you want to run. The amount of ignitions you can proc with this thing, the amount of act clear you can do, while at the same time putting out some really good damage against some of the bigger enemies, it's fantastic. The Dragon Spread is one of the best heavy weapons out there that go really well with a bunch of solar builds. So definitely don't ignore the Dragon Spread, it's gonna be pretty good. And I can't mention the rockets without mentioning the Hasten's Vengeance, since it is a solar weapon, as was being the best rocket launcher in the game. This thing is towards the top of DPS numbers basically every time because it just outputs a ridiculous amount of damage. If you guys don't have a Hasten's Vengeance yet, I recommend that you definitely go and get a good one with the new Origin trait. The Origin trait is really what makes this thing just a beast. It puts out so much damage and so many rockets in just such a short amount of time. The Hasten's Vengeance is just a weapon you definitely should have in your arsenal. No matter what you do, the Hasten's Vengeance is going to be pretty good. Another last weapon that I want to mention, I didn't want to end this video without this weapon, it is the no hesitation healing auto rifle. Healing auto rifles are essentially a cheat code. Healing auto rifles have been so good since the release with the final shape, so if you guys don't have a no hesitation, I would definitely recommend that you grab it next season. It's going to have basically constant radiant, giving it even more damage, and it's also going to be able to do ignitions, while at the same time giving you constant restoration and healing towards teammates. This is going to be like the perfect primary. If you are planning on using a primary weapon, do not ignore the no hesitation. It's going to be one of the best primaries that you can actually get out there. And with that, we're going to end today's video. And now I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys are excited to use in the Edge of Fate. And also, if you guys have any sort of builds that you guys are already build crafting, also let me know that in the comments below to see what everyone's kind of like cooking with. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.